Welcome to Terrier Talks. I'm your host, Sunny Faustino, and this week we are glad to have our own student from St. Francis. Host of Safety First on SSC Radio, co-director and writer of Terrier TV's Grow Math, e-board member of Terrier TV, and self-proclaimed resident old head. Denzel Rodgers is here today.
What's up? My name is Denzel, as Sunny said. I am a student here at St. Francis College. I am the resident old head. On camera, my age is redacted, so I'm not gonna tell you on camera how old I am. But trust, 90s.
Okay, so, all right. So Denzel, my first question to you is, why do you call yourself the resident old head?
For a few reasons. When I was first thinking about coming back to school from my absence, my last year in college before I came back was 2014. So it was a journey to bring myself back here.
Okay.
I was like, well, I had a lot of anxiety in my mind, a lot of antsiness about being an older person around so many 18-year-olds, 20-year-olds, 21-year-olds. And I was like, well, instead of just trying to hide it and trying to keep it a secret or being so worried that anybody would find out, I was just like, well, I might as well just embrace it and just own it. And then if it's out there already, it's like no one can be surprised by it. So I just felt like it was the best for me to just own it. I'm Denzel, I am age redacted on camera, and I'm here to learn.
All right, that's lovely. And why did you decide to return to school at this age? And why do you feel like it was the right time to return?
I decided to return for a lot of reasons. The biggest reason I would say was going through COVID. When the lockdown happened, it was a real weird time. Mm-hmm. You know, it was a strange time. And I was thinking, man, if I was to really go from this, like if COVID was to catch me and it was finna get me, all I would have done my entire life was work for other people. I wouldn't have done anything for myself. I wouldn't have had really tried to see what my real talents were or to see what I could do right in the space. And I gave up on college that many years ago. So when that happened, I was just at a point I gotta do something this time for me, because the world literally showed me the way that I thought was the way to success was not the right way, where something could happen and everything that you're used to, everything that you was accustomed to, or the way you was making money or jobs you had, it was just gone. And it was like the corporations and stuff, they didn't even care. It was like, you fired, bye. Bye. And I was just like, man, I gotta do something for me. I gotta really figure out what it is I wanna do, who I wanna be, and where I wanna go in this life. And I was like, well, the first step to that is, the first step was actually starting my podcast, shameless plug, Bronx Bias Podcast on all platforms. But then after I saw how much fun I was having doing the pod, how good I was getting at it, how many people wanted to come on the show or people was actually listening to it, I was like, man, I might actually be able to go back, finish, and have a real career in this. Because the career I was having, I was working in corporate, it wasn't for me.
Okay, interesting. And what are some differences that you've noticed from your first attempt from school and now? And how do you feel those differences could benefit you in this current attempt?
Differences, a lot. My first go around in college, I was in the CUNY system. I was going to Bronx Community College. I have to laugh.
Okay.
Because Bronx Community College was literally my high school to the second power. I was really going there just to try to spit game to the girls, and that's it. I did not care about my education at that point. I didn't really see it as important at that time. My mind was focused on getting a job so I could get some money in my pocket, so I could buy fly clothes and shoes and talk to girls. And that was quite literally the only thing that I was concerned about. My first go around, even though there were classes that I liked and that I felt like was cool, I just wasn't mentally ready for that.
Okay.
I was mentally ready to be on spring break for a long time. I just wanted to just BS and have fun and work so I could keep making money and just spend it. Like, that's it. So this time, I really came back with a goal. I came back with a lot of motivation, and I really wanted to prove it to myself. You know, forget about proving it to the outside world. I really wanted to just prove it to myself. Like, could I actually do this? Or, you know, can I adapt to what college in 2024 looks like as opposed to way back in 2014? It's a different world out here. And I think that those, being an older person, you know, having had the structure of like working a 9 to 5 in an office in a corporate setting for like years, I look at college, I'm like, yo, this is lit over here. Like, you know, compared to like really like the grind, a 365-day grind of you get up every single day except for Saturdays and Sundays. You go to work 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. every single day for, man, since I was, I don't even know, 24 years old maybe. Like corporate type. Mm-hmm. And it was just like, bro, I know what this looks like. I know what clocking in looks like. I know what the BS small talk at the water cooler looks like. You know, I know what the corporate life looks like, and it's not for me. So when I come back here, I'm like, yo, I'm around a lot of young people. It's a lot of good energy. It's a much better place for me right now. And I think that my mindset is just all the way different. I feel like if somehow 18-year-old Denzel just walked through the door, I wouldn't even recognize that person. We would look the same, obviously, but like that Denzel compared to this one, it's like night and day.
Okay, and you now are very active with SFC clubs. So you are in Terrier TV or in SFC Radio. You've been doing your own shows and putting in the work. So when you came in and you decided to partake in those clubs, what were some changes that you desired, like to bring to the table, or some of the things that you think that were important to be brought up?
I wanted to make an environment, no pun intended, of safety. No pun. Like where people could come and like just have a space where they could be themselves. They don't have to worry about people judging them for their opinions or judging them for who they are, what they look like, what they believe in. Where people could come and play music together or just have fun, be in a low pressure environment. But also where highly motivated people could collaborate and work together. I feel like the reason why safety works is because it's the combination of Denzel plus the entire cast. I feel like if it was just me by myself, I'm nice. You know, I'm sure it would be a great show because I'm the man when it comes to that. But I feel like the reason it's so good is because we bring so many different types of people together. We have so many different types of opinions. It could be any topic. What I think about something is different than what, you know, somebody else on the show would think. We also have a DJ on there, so it's integrated in the music side. We play current music, and it's really just a team effort. I think what I really wanted to bring to the clubs was, like, we gotta be a team, right? We gotta think about the greatest success stories in the world, or in America, or in business, or whatever. There's always a team of people. It's not one person doing it. One person might be the head, one person might be the one that everybody asks the questions, but success in this country, unless you Jeff Bezos or something, even though he has a team, it's really like within the community of people. So with Terrier TV and SFC Radio, I just wanted to make a team, and I knew that if we had the right people on the team, we would be successful.
Okay, and you talk a lot about your team and therefore your creative effort. So I'd like to ask you, like, how do you see yourself as an artist? Like, who is Denzel, the creator, Denzel, the artist?
You know, that's a good question because I never even consider myself an artist. I feel like I'm not an artist at all. I feel that way because maybe my definition is different. I try to think of artists as like a master in the craft. So if I'm talking about an actor, maybe Denzel Washington, no pun intended. I'm quite literally named after him. So he's an artist because, in my opinion, he's a master of acting. Or if you look at maybe a basketball player, Kobe was an artist because he was a master at the game, a master at the craft. And I guess I just don't feel like I'm there yet, so I hesitate to call myself that, even though I probably, if you look at the definition, I probably fall in that category. But I just think of myself literally as a guy from the Bronx who writes a lot and talks even more, quite literally. That's just how I think of myself. I'm Denzel, a regular guy, and my joy is writing things, creating scripts, working on films, and doing radio and podcasts. That's just how I look at myself. That's how I always want to look at myself. I don't ever want to get to a head where it's like, well, I'm an artist, I don't do this and that. Like, I'm just a regular guy, man, who had a regular life and just wants to try to do his best at what I'm working on.
Okay, I like that. So, what are some things that you were nervous about or excited about when returning to school?
Well, I was nervous about being quite literally this age around so many 18-year-olds and just thinking like I wouldn't fit in because of that. So not necessarily fit in like high school popularity, no, not that, but like fit in as in like, well, things are going on. Am I gonna be knowing what the new trends are? Am I gonna be aware of what's going on in the Twitterverse? Am I gonna be knowing about all the new songs that's coming out or all the new dances or all the new current, things that is going on in the culture? I was really nervous about that. Like, what if I talk about things and they all looking at me like, yo, be quiet. Like, who even invited this guy here? Like, I was really nervous about that, just like not being able to fit in socially because of the generation gap. But I was excited just because it was a second chance for me, right? I was excited to just to find out. I was looking at it like, if I come here and I can't do none of the work and I can't do none of the assignments and I can't join no clubs and it just don't work, at least I have the answer, right? At least it's like, all right, college didn't work out for you because it just didn't work out for you, not because you stopped, not because you quit. It just didn't work out for you because it didn't work out. You couldn't keep up with what was going on, or you just was having a hard time getting adjusted or acclimated. But when I got here, I realized, oh man, I was really kind of like all in my head. Like, it was really like, sometimes you could beat yourself here, right, in your mind before it even happens in the real world. And I was just like, I'm gonna battle that because whatever answer I get is gonna be the right answer. Whether it's I'm really great, right, or I'm really trash, whatever answer was gonna be the result was the right answer, and I was just gonna make a decision based off whatever. So if my first semester here was all Fs and I was on academic probation as soon as I started, then I would leave, right? Because it was like, I bet it's not for me. Or if it proved like the assignments or the workload was just too much and my regular life and my school life couldn't match, then I would just leave. I would get the real answer. But again, like, my time here has not been that. I'm grateful for that. I'm thankful for that. But my mindset was whatever was gonna happen, I'm not gonna fight it. If I come up in here and I'm on the dean's list, great. If I come up in here and I'm not on the dean's list, I'm flunking out, all right, right? It is what it is. You just gotta handle it. That's just part of being an adult. Life is gonna happen to you. It's not about what happens to you, it's about how you respond and how you bounce back and how you adjust to the changes that happen every day.
I like that. So, what were some challenges you've encountered during your time here, or you still keep on encountering, and how do you overcome those situations?
Well, challenges here, I think is remembering that you are a student still and not getting all the way caught up in your projects, because obviously your projects is fun. You find them, obviously they're challenging, but they're fun. So you get wrapped up in them, and then you forget about, oh man, I got class. Like, I have exams, I have homework to do, I have projects to work on, I have a midterm, I have a final coming up. Because you're so wrapped up in what you're doing, because it's what you really want to be doing. Yeah, it's about time management. I think that's the key. Time management, managing your time. Also, your mental health is very important. You really have to know how you're feeling mentally, because the mind controls the body. You can't do anything physically without your mind being in the right place. So it's really about managing your mental health, managing your time, and being open to new experiences and new opportunities, you know, not being afraid, right? There's a good Jim Carrey movie, it's called Yes Man. And it's quite literally, the movie is, Jim Carrey is like some unhappy guy and some person challenges him to just say yes to everything. Just whatever people ask you, say yes and see how your life will change. And so obviously I'm not saying yes to everything. I ain't doing that, but like just being open to do more things or put yourself in positions that naturally you probably shy away from. I think that's important. So yeah, I think managing your time, managing your mental health, and just being more open to opportunities, not being so closed-minded.
Okay, interesting. And do you think more and more students are now returning to school, especially demographics of like an older age? And what are your insights on that?
I think a lot of people are returning because of what sort of, maybe, I'm not gonna say we all had the same experience, like the experience that other older students had compared to me. But I feel like a lot of older people are realizing like, you know, your life is what you want it to be. You know, you can't live a happy life doing what other people want you to do or doing what you think is the right thing based off what you see outside in the world or what you see around you. You have to do what you want because you want it, right? You have to do what is important to you because it's important to you, right? It can't be, well, I'm gonna go back to college because of what my mama said. Or I'm coming back to college because I seen on TV, well, you should go to college. No, you come because you wanna be here, or the major that you're in, you're really interested in, and it really gotta be about you. It's all about you at the end of the day, because you live your life for yourself. For the most part, I understand people got other situations, they live their life for others in their life, but at the end of the day, you live in your life for you. Mm-hmm. You come into this mug by yourself and you're gonna leave by yourself. So while you're here, you might as well do what's best for yourself. And I think that a lot of older people, especially my generation of people, realize that maybe their approach was wrong in that they didn't care much about education, they were just chasing the money. Because around my era of time, you could really make a living without going to college. You could really find your way into a job and make a living. I was able to do that. I stopped going to college. I was able to have a job, benefits, a pension plan, 401k, insurance, everything with no degree. But I realized that I was just chasing money. I wasn't really chasing what was gonna make me happy or what I was really interested in. I was just chasing the money. So I think that people are realizing like, you can't take the money with you. It's important to have and it's important to go for, it's important to be ambitious and have aspirations for a lot of money, but if you're not making it doing what you really want, then you're not gonna be happy at all.
Can you elaborate a little bit on this idea of doing something that makes you happy?
Yeah, man, I think that happiness is what we all need to be chasing in this life. I don't think that any amount of money could change you if you're not happy inside. I feel like if you don't have internal happiness or you don't feel like you're driven or you're working towards things that you really care about or that you're really inspired by, then you're just gonna be some guy in an office looking at a computer and despising your existence, because that was quite literally me. And I think that the existence that I wanna have, because I can't tell nobody how to live, but I think the existence that I wanna have is just, I'm doing things that I'm really excited to be doing, that I'm really passionate about and that I care about, because that's when I do the best work. Anybody could go to an office job, sit behind that computer and do that job. But it's like, you're gonna be looking out that window, it's gonna be like Squidward watching SpongeBob and Patrick outside. They outside having fun, having a good time. And he's just in there watching it happen. He can't even participate in in the fun that they having because he's Squidward, that's his character. But I think that's really what I took from that. That's a joke, right? That's a meme, but literally I saw myself as Squidward behind that window, watching everybody else outside having fun, doing what they wanted, chasing their dreams, and I'm just here, just stuck in this office. And I was just like, nah, I can't do this no more. I can't. If this fails what I'm going for after I graduate college, fine. I just need to see what's up with it, because the life I was living wasn't it.
So you mentioned this idea of chasing your dreams. So let's talk about some of your triumphs, because life's full of trials and errors, and it's always important for us to highlight those triumphs. So can you talk to us a little bit about one of your triumphs that you had when returning to school?
I have had a lot, to be honest. I feel like I've done a lot here, a lot of good things here in a short amount of time, which I'm proud of. I'm very proud of that. My first triumph, I'm not gonna lie to you, my first semester here, they told me they wasn't gonna accept all my credits. So I had to take some classes over. One of those classes is math. Listen, shout out to all my math majors out there. Y'all the real heroes, cause math is trash, okay? If it ain't addition, subtraction, multiplication, or division, I'm not with it. So when I first came back, I had to take 2 math classes. But they said if you take the classes and you pass, you won't have to worry about it again. You won't have to worry about no math. So I really just locked in. I was like, this is my first test. If I could lock in and pass math, then I'm gonna be all right. Because this is literally my worst subject. So shout out to Professor Lavinia, that's the homegirl. Shout out to Lori, the tutor, because they was my besties. Like, I was like, I'm not doing this again. Me and the professor's gonna be best friends. Me and the tutor's gonna be best friends, and I'm gonna pass this joint. That was my first triumph, got an A. I don't have to worry about math again. The only math I'm trying to worry about is this paper. Facts, the only math I'm trying to worry about is this paper. But other than that, I was really proud of like getting safety off the ground. I remember like sitting there and the idea came, and I was just, at first, in your mind, you're trying to figure out a reason not to do it because it's such a good idea. But in your mind, you're like, I don't know. I was just like, nah, it's a great idea, we going for it. And then when we recorded the first episode of it, I knew it was gonna go, because it was everything that I had in my mind. It happened right in front of me. So it literally came out of my mind what I envisioned the show to be, and it quite literally came out of my mind and happened right in front of me. So I was like, oh, this is gonna be it. Safety's gonna be great. Then when I started taking the studio classes, I was more nervous about that because I have a background with radio, podding. Podding and radio is essentially the same thing. Podcasting and radio, I should say, is the same thing, essentially. Television was a little different, or filming was a little different, because it's about scripts, it's about crew, it's about lighting, it's about a whole bunch of other factors, as opposed to podcasting or radio where it's just you and the microphone. So, really getting accustomed to that, really learning how to organize a team was important. That's really important. And just when I would say my triumph was when it was advanced. It wasn't even basic TV studio, it was advanced. When I did my first real production, top to bottom, and it was successful. I was like, man, I got a little confidence from that. I got a little good energy from that. Like, no, I can really do this. This is possible. This is not just, a thought. Or maybe it could be cool if you try. Maybe it could be cool if you just attempt. No, like, I could really do it, and it could be good. It's not just you doing it because you got to do it so you could get that grade and your teacher be quiet. No, like, I'm doing it, it's good, and my teacher is being quiet because it's good, but also, I feel real confident about it, and the result, when I watch it again, I'm like, yo, okay, this really worked. This really was good. It gave me a lot of confidence, and then I was just like, well, bet, if I could do it in this class and I could get an A, then I could definitely go into the club and we could do some cool stuff.
Okay. Interesting. And how did your family or friends react to your return to college?
Well, my friends was all for it. My friends was all for it. They were supportive the whole way. They really felt where I was coming from. My family was a little different because obviously they knew about my first go around. So they was probably thinking, well, maybe nothing has changed, right? They didn't really believe at the time because of what happened the first time around. I'm telling you, I really didn't care about it at all. I was going in there just trying to math. I ain't gonna lie to you. So it was a little period where they still were not believing. And that's okay, because I feel like I had to prove it to them just like I had to prove it to myself. But then when they saw like, oh, he's really going every day. Oh, nah, he's really bringing home grades that, he's proud of. And he's involved with the projects at the campus. Then they really saw like, nah, he's really gonna take this seriously. And then they, became supportive. But I understood, like, if you are somebody who is a mess up and then you say, oh yeah, I'm not gonna mess up no more. People around you, it's not gonna be easy for them to believe you. So you gotta prove it not only to you, but you gotta prove it to others too. So that was good. I got something out of that too. I proved it to myself, but also proved it to people who didn't believe.
So we could say that your return to college was part of like a self-discovery journey.
I think so. I think you could say that. I think that's fair to say. I feel like self-discovery is not necessarily about your education. I feel like self-discovery comes with just living your life. But I think being in the college environment is part of it. I would say it's a part of it. I wouldn't even say it's like 20%. I would say it's like 5% being in college for self-discovery, because really you discover yourself when you just keep living. Living is the only way to discover yourself truly. That's the only way. There's no other way that you're gonna get to a point where you really know who you are as a person without living your life. No job, no school, no relationship is gonna really show that to you. It could help, like you can see how you are within a relationship, you can see how you are in a school environment, you can see how you are in a work environment. But self-discovery really comes with just, you keep living your life, you looking in that mirror every day, and you trying to do your best.
Okay. And what were some things that you've learned about yourself during your time here?
I've learned patience is a virtue. We're not gonna say no more about that.
No need to say.
We're not gonna talk no more about that.
That's true. No need to say.
Patience is a virtue, and you gotta be patient not only with outside things, you gotta be patient with yourself too. You gotta be patient with the process. You gotta be patient with your growth. You know, I think that people wanna grow so fast. People want to be the finished product so quickly, and that because of that, you miss out on a lot of things that are important because your eyes are so on the prize. You're missing out on everything that's around you. But I think that I feel like I learned that truly anything is possible. Maybe like, yeah, anything is possible, for real. Like if your mind is locked in on creating or making your dreams come true, I should say, creating a reality based off your dreams, and you locked in on that and you working hard on that and you driven to accomplish that, then it's possible. Because quite literally, I had to start over from scratch, from ground zero, take remedial math classes again just to get to this point. And I'm not even done yet. I'm not even finished yet. Like, I'm not saying this and I'm graduating this semester, right? I'm not even graduating yet. I just think that your mindset got to be locked in on your goals, doing things that you feel really are important to you, and being patient. You know, you got to be patient. It's hard though. It's hard. Patience is very difficult. I struggle with it a lot because sometimes it's things that are out of your control. But again, we're not gonna talk too much about it. But some things, it's like, it's holding me back because of what is going on that I have no control of.
Yep.
Even though you know what you should be doing, but you're not doing it type. And so I really had to work on that. Patience in that regard. Being patient with people who aren't doing all the way what they're supposed to be doing, and understanding though it's part of the process. People ain't gonna give you everything you want just cause you want it. You gotta prove it, you gotta prove it again, you gotta prove it again, you gotta keep proving it. And so I gotta have more patience in that regard. So I really learned the value of patience and making a plan and executing the plan.
Nice. So for us to wrap up, what is some advice you would give to potential older students looking to return to school?
If you're an old head out there and you're thinking about it, just do it, right? Just do it. Whatever answer that you get is the right answer. If you come back and it's a failure, fine. That just means college is not for you. That doesn't mean that you won't be successful. If you come back and everything is roses and you're having a great time and you feel like everything is the way that you envisioned it, even better. I just think that when it comes to something like this, if it's on your mind, then you shouldn't let it go away. You shouldn't push it to the back. You should just see it, see what it is. Just do the experiment. Whatever you want to come back for, nursing, accounting, finance, communications, whatever. If you have it in your mind and your heart that you want to come back and it's a stone that you don't want to leave unturned, whatever answer you get is the right answer. And whether that's success or failure, because there's no true failure. If you flunk out of college, that don't mean you're a failure in your life, right? Because there will be a lot of failures out here, right? Of people who thought that because they weren't successful in college, they can't be successful in their lives. It's all about your attitude and just seeing what's up, right? I was worried so much that I would not be able to connect with young people. And here I am, the resident old head, and I feel like me and the little homies in here is cool. Like it's a lot of fun being here, and it's a lot of good things that we're doing together. So, but if I was of that mindset, like, nah, it ain't for me or I can't do it, then I literally wouldn't have had this experience that we having. We quite literally would not be having this conversation. So for the old heads out there, bruh, if it's in your mind and it's in your heart to do something that you just been thinking about or that you just wanna just see what's up, then do it. There's a whole bunch of colleges out here. Online college is also available. If you can't commute to a campus, just see, right? That's my advice. Just see, just perform the scientific method, right? Whatever result you get is gonna be the right answer for you.
All right, so thank you so much for being here today, Denzel.
BX, all day.
Thank you for your time and your experience, and again, words of wisdom, and I hope they can inspire some of our viewers and some people that might dream of returning to their studies. Okay, so thank you so much.
Thank you.
And that's all we have for today's Terrier Talks. Thank you so much for everyone who's watching. And as a reminder, Safety First is live on SFC Radio on Thursdays at 4 p.m. And SFC Radio can be heard on sfcradio.sfc.edu, and SFC Terrier TV videos are all available on YouTube. I'm Sunny Faustino, and we're heading out.